Hello, darling. Yes, sirree, it's little old me, that raven-haired twist who seldom gets kissed. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark. The show, as you know, is Movie Macabre, and welcome back to it. Now, this time around, we are opening up something in the Gothic vein. It's a little number called The House of Dark Shadows, with the classiest vampire this side of Count Yorga, Barnabas Collins. Just plain Barney to his friends. Only trouble is, he ain't got no friends. The movie, of course, was inspired by that popular soap opera on the TV, Dark Shadows. Either that or it was inspired by the lighting job that Danny McElroy does here on the show. Oh, yeah, golly, a little inside humor there. And another thing about... Okay, wait, come on. Hey, Danny, baby, come on. Lighten up. Programs, get your programs right over here. Can't tell players without the programs. Well, I just have a couple of questions. Like, who are these people and why are they all in this house? And where is it? And what are they doing there? When is it going to be over? Oh, I was running out of fingers. Guess you have to remember the soap opera to even have a clue. But it looks like that surly caretaker, Willie, has opened up the proverbial casket of worms. Apparently, he's let loose some sort of strange dude who wears a lot of jewelry. Hey, maybe it's my old pal Liberace. He's been trying to come out of the coffin for years. You are watching The House of Dark Shadows, a movie Mac Biggie, and we'll be right back with it after these words. Get yourself some mouthwash, fella. Boy, Barnabas has himself a set of them retractable fangs. His teeth come out at night just like Attila the program director's. And if there's one thing you never want to say to a vampire, it's, there's so much that I'm just dying to know about you. Or how about, how do you like my new earrings? Oh boy, so Barnabas claims to be the long-lost cousin from London. Too bad for the family, he didn't stay lost. He had to do a little fancy footwork there when they tried tripping him up with them questions about his neighbors. That little distraction with the necklace was pretty transparent. Neighbors? What neighbors? Hey, look at this. Well, it's just lucky for him that he resembled that oil painting. That's something I've often accused my audience of resembling, an oil painting. But I'll take it all back if you promise to stick around. The House of Dark Shadows continues after this. Oh, poor Carolyn. She turned out to be just the appetizer. Looks like Maggie's going to be the main course. And I guess Carolyn remembered that old trick from high school of tying a big old scarf around your neck to hide the hickeys. Wasn't too obvious, was it? Well, I thought she was wearing a neck brace. I was expecting to see a lawyer step up any moment and hand her a business card. And too bad for Maggie that she's a dead ringer for Josette. And when I say dead ringer, I might be talking literally dead. But nobody can accuse Barnabas of being fickle. He's carried a torch for Josette for nearly 200 years. Guess even a vampire can have a soft spot in his heart. But I don't suppose he'd like to let anybody know just exactly where it's at. We'll be back. Dead schmed. Carolyn ain't dead. They just put a lot of gold medal flour all over her face. But that is a good line for us girls to remember. Stay away from me. You're dead. Try it the next time one of them lounge lizards down at the marina starts trying to hit on you. And talk about that little monster David's shattering experience. Well, he almost had another shattering experience when he took that nasty tumble. Fortunately, the kid landed on his head, so it was okay. But he has given me a swell idea. Tommy, toss me that ball, would you? Whoa, okay, dude. If I catch this one, I don't have to watch the rest of the movie. Oh, yes. No. Oh, that can really hurt if you miss and accidentally hit your thumb. So now I guess Carolyn runs back to Barnabas saying, Barney, honey, gee, could you just help me get this tiny little splinter out? Guess I can cross her off my Christmas list. She should have listened to Barnabas when he forbade her from seeing Todd. So what if she was being grounded? I mean, being grounded is no big deal if you've already been buried. Okay, question. Why didn't that lady, Dr. Julia, say something about not seeing Barnabas in that compact mirror of hers? Maybe she figures that it was no reflection on him. Oh, but seriously, I think she has something up her sleeve, and I ain't talking about varicose veins. And getting back to Barnabas and his lack of a reflection, here's a couple of things you have to wonder about. Like, for example, how does he shave? And how does he tie his tie? What does he say when the barber says, hey, take a look at the back? I don't know. Sometimes it's better just not to ask. In the words of Barnabas Collins, T.S. Eliot, well, looks like Maggie's gone and fallen head over heels for Barnabas, just like Willie fell head over heels for him. Here, Willie, take my cane! Except for the occasional outburst, looks like Julia's wonder cure is doing the job. But that part about rehabilitating Barnabas, how's that supposed to work? Well, we'll get you a job at Kmart, and you can go part-time to City College to learn a trade. You'll be able to shop at the Galleria, watch cable TV, and make car payments. And then, of course, there's income tax to pay. I'll tell you, I will take the nightlife anytime. I mean, I love the nightlife. I love to boogie on the disco, yeah. Well, one good thing about Barnabas not having a reflection, he won't run the risk of 7 years bad luck the next time he looks in the mirror. Boy, did Julia ever do a number on him. Gee, I hope when Maggie wakes up, and if she wakes up, hope she goes for older guys. I mean, older is one thing, but that guy is ancient. Last time he went out on a date, it was to a Chopin piano recital, as Chopin was playing. Wonder if an old vampire gums his victims to death. Just a thought. And something them characters in the movie ought to be thinking about is what they're gonna do with that monster.
He is not a monster.
Oh, gee. She's still hung up on the guy, the poor love fool. We'll get back to the House of Dark Shadows right after this. Oh, that makes a lot of sense, washing your face off with some slimy old swamp water. I mean, I think I'd have just left the blood and stuff on me. Boy, this picture might have started off with more people in it than it needed, but before it's over, it's going to be down to about 3. There won't even be enough of them left to do the soap opera. I think this played better as a soap opera in the first place. Hit it, Fred! Today, on The Dead and the Restless, Carolyn is murdered because she is jealous of Maggie, David's governess, who Barnabas has his fangs set on. Barnabas thinks Maggie is the reincarnation of Josette, the girl he was to marry, until a curse was put on his head, turning him into a vampire. Josette couldn't handle the thought of eternal life, so she jumped off a cliff, which makes a heck of a lot of sense, while his father locked him up in a coffin for all eternity. But what about Mrs. Stoddard, the overly dressed matron of the family? Is she going to continue her on-again, off-again romance with George? Or will she learn that Willie is not really a man, but actually her long-lost sister who's been away in Europe with Julie all these years? We'll find out as The Dead and the Restless continue after these important. Oh, now wasn't that just about the cutest thing you ever seen? Barnabas just turned into an itsy-bitsy little rubber bat and just flew away. I was wondering all along if he could turn into a bat. And if he had any brains, he would have done that before Jeff went and drove that convenient stake through his heart. Actually, Jeff didn't drive the stake through his heart at all. Staked him in the back. The coward. Technically speaking, you can't kill a vampire that way. Guess that explains why Barnabas was just able to fly off the way he did at the end. And speaking of the end, that's exactly where we're at for this little get-together of Movie Macabre. We've run about 950 of these vampire pictures here on the show, and I am getting sick and tired of them. If you've noticed, I refrained from using any of them tired old vampire cliches this week. I mean, you did not hear me once saying that Barnabas was a pain in the neck. I didn't question how he'd like his steak done, and I was not about to ask what his type was. I mean, you didn't hear me saying he put the bite on everybody he met, or anything about him making a withdrawal from the blood bank. I didn't stoop to using any of them stupid old vampire puns, and I'll tell you why. Personally, I think that sort of humor sucks. Unpleasant dreams.